a man may say, "You're taking too long," she can turn around and say, "No, you came too quick." And then all of a sudden you feel less than, and you are a 1 minute man or a 3 minute man or whatever, then it's not going to be so much of an issue because by that time
Right.
she's climaxed
She's already
or
right.
she's climaxed first. So again, it's about re-educating because a lot of us men have been and women have been miseducated, whether it's by porn or what we've heard even from amongst our friends. So the pressure again, where a lot of men, because and if you're comparing a woman's sexual response to yourself, you are going to be there's going to be an issue. And as
Right.
men, even the way our sexual response is, men generally are our desire is spontaneous, whereas generally women are responsive. And like there's a saying that said, men have a sex drive, where women has a sexual response. And it's about understanding
Mm.
and complementing each other.
So I want to, in my experience in working with women, now I myself am not a sex educator, but I'm always fascinated about the topic. And one of the things that in my line of work with working with women, the empowerment of women, the a woman feeling good about herself, her self-esteem and sense of self-worth, sexuality does play a role in it. And what, in conversations that I have with the women that I deal with, there's their inability to experience sexual pleasure with their partner or their husband in the context of what we're talking about with their husband. What I have found, and I hear it often, is that when it takes longer, the husband lose interest. And it's almost like something is wrong with you because you're taking too long to reach that climate. So how does Kunyaza help men last longer in the bedroom and keeping that intrigue with him when his wife doesn't necessarily respond the same way as he does through penetration?
Very good question. I think first and foremost, because the sexual script of Kunyaza, which again, like I've mentioned, is non-penetrative,
Mm-hmm.
as men, generally speaking, if we're just engaging in penetrative intercourse, the average man is going to last 5.4 minutes, some less than that, some maybe a bit longer than that. Whereas with Kunyaza, because you're not focused on penetration and you're using just the tip of your penis, you're going to be stimulated, but not enough to climax. So
Mm-hmm.
that way, you're ensuring that you're doing sufficient amount of stimulation to your partner. So and on average, the woman needs, some studies say 14 minutes, some say 20 minutes. So if you're performing Kunyaza like non-penetrative for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you're allowing your wife to get to the point where she is sufficiently aroused. Then if you want to then get engaged in penetration and you are a 1 minute man or a 3 minute man or whatever, then it's not going to be so much of an issue because by that time
Right.
she's climaxed
She's already
or
right.
she's climaxed first. So again, it's about re-educating because a lot of us men have been and women have been miseducated, whether it's by porn or what we've heard even from amongst our friends. So the pressure again, where a lot of men, because and if you're comparing a woman's sexual response to yourself, there's going to be an issue. And as
Right.
men, even the way our sexual response is, men generally are our desire is spontaneous, whereas generally women are responsive. And like there's a saying that said, men have a sex drive, where women has a sexual response. And it's about understanding
Mm.
and complementing each other. So if you've got an understanding that we are different and we're here to complement each other, then
Right.
I don't like the word she's taking too long. It's the same way
Right.
someone may say, a man may say, "You're taking too long." She can turn around and say, "No, you came too quick." And then all of a
Right.
sudden you feel less than. So it's not about she's taking too long. It's maybe looking at yourself that you're too quick. So you need to ensure that you come to a happy medium. So it's again,
I love
it's just our understanding, even like and there is even pressure on men where they think how because of maybe what they've watched in pornography or what their friends have
that.
said,
Right.
they feel that they need to last 45 minutes or an hour. And that's oftentimes unrealistic. And I'm sure if you ask a lot of women, after maybe 20 minutes, they're probably thinking about something else. So if you're just pumping away, she's not actually enjoying it. But because our understanding or misunderstanding is that the longer the better, the more
Mm-hmm.
not that's so it's again, that's why it's about pleasure. And again, even conversations we have amongst ourselves, this is also a problem and part of the miseducation because generally how we measure how great a wonderful sex is we quantify it by how long the session
Right.
was. or how
not the
many rounds,
quality of
not the
the
quality.
interaction, right?
Yeah. So that's why, again, it's about bringing, and when we speak about pleasure or sexual satisfaction, it's subjective. What's pleasurable to one person is different to another. And that's very
Right.
difficult to kind of convey unless someone has got very flowery words, you know? So because of that, it's the easier approach, which is very, you could say the Western approach is very mechanical and quantified. And I think that's why we need to come out of that mindset where we're looking at sex as a performative act rather than something that should be a mutually pleasurable act for both the man and the woman. And again, it's just about understanding, have a mutual understanding for both his needs and her needs. And then you, like I said, you come to a happy medium, hopefully.
I love it. I love everything that you're, I mean, I've already, I've always had that concept, but to actually hear that you wrote this book for the purpose of changing the narrative of what we've seen, that's not for everybody, and there isn't a one size fit all. I think it's beautiful, and it's so important to the lasting of a relationship and understanding and appreciating the differences of one another versus looking at it as you mentioned, you're taking too long or you're too short, but having that happy medium.